As I'm sure you're aware, Magic the Gathering is a very expensive card game, with a feeling like you have to spend a lot of money to even have a halfway enjoyable experience. Which is why today I want to highlight 4 cards that you can reasonably buy for under $1 Australian. These cards have all been selected either due to their power in casual Commander, or simply just because they're plain fun, because at the end of the day, Magic is supposed to be fun. The first card I want to look at today is a split card with Aftermath. The first mode of it being Indulge, the second mode being Excess. The first half of the card, Indulge, reads, whenever a creature you control attacks this turn, create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token that's tapped and attacking. The second mode of the card, which has Aftermath, reads, create a treasure token for each creature you control that dealt combat damage to a player this turn. Despite the first portion of the card costing free, I believe that this card works best when cast later in the game, once you have a wide enough board to create a high quantity of creatures and cast the second half in the same turn. If you connect with enough creatures, this spell is essentially free, as the second portion is likely to net you a positive return on mana investment in a dedicated token strategy, especially if you're running a lot of evasion. One commander I believe this card could benefit most is Ishin, as he doubles the token creation from the first half, thus providing further creatures to possibly connect with for maximum value on the second half. Despite the synergy, however, the card is only run in 156 of approximately 26,600 Ishin commander decks. The next card I want to discuss is Death Begets Life. It is a sorcery for 5 generic mana and a Sultai that says, destroy all creatures and enchantments, draw a card for each permanent destroyed this way. While 8 mana is a steep price to pay for a board wipe, it is unlikely that this draws any less than 5 cards on a sufficiently wide board. And it goes without saying that the most important thing after casting a board wipe is being able to rebuild quicker than your opponents can. And after casting this, it is likely that you'll be the only one left with cards in your hand if you cast it sufficiently late in the game. This card would work in any Sultai deck, but particularly ones which run a lot of ramp, to mitigate the drawback of the high mana cost, which is to say, most decks running green. The next card I want to talk about, the Dominion Bracelet, is a legendary artifact equipment, which reads, equipped creature gets +1/+1, and for 15, you can exile the Dominion Bracelet and control target opponent during the next turn, which costs X less to activate, where X is the power of the creature it's attached to, and it has equip 1. While a free mana investment for only a +1/+1 increase is a bit meager, being able to control another opponent for potentially a very low mana cost if it's attached to a high enough power creature is hard to ignore, especially for something of this budget level, as it is rare to see these kind of effects at a budget. I'd recommend this to anyone who likes varied gameplay without the costs associated with some of the other pieces that provide said variability. The last card I want to talk about, In the Trenches, is an enchantment that says creatures you control get +1/+1, and for 5 and a white, exile target non-land permanent you don't control until this enchantment leaves the battlefield, activate only as a sorcery and only once. Now, a universal +1/+1 anthem for creatures you control for 3 mana is already a decent rate, but put a source of removal on top of that and I believe you have something great. In the Trenches offers the hardest removal check for the other players at the commander table. If they can't remove an enchantment, they have to watch helplessly as you exile their biggest threat and swing in for increased damage due to the pump effects. I hope this video has provided useful information about pieces that might have otherwise flown under the radar that you can now use to spice up your commander decks or just add a little bit of extra consistency to them. Bye!